kham mano buddhireva cha ahankara iti yamme bhinna prakriti ashtadha. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna describes that there are 8 energies of Krishna. Bhumi, earth. Bhumir apa, water. Nala, fire. Bhumi apo nala, vayu, air. Bhumi apo nalo vayur, kham. Kham means ether, or the waves in the space. Bhumir apo nalo vayur, kham. Mana, mind. Buddhi, intelligence. Ahankar, ego. These are the 8 material elements. And my dear friends, as Krishna mentions them, serially they become more and more subtle. Earth is the grossest. It has got all the qualities. Earth, then water is little bit more subtle. It doesn't have a fixed shape like earth. It doesn't have smell like earth. Earth, water, fire. Fire doesn't even have fixed volume. At least water has fixed volume. Doesn't have fixed shape, but fixed volume. But water has taste. Fire doesn't have taste. It's becoming more and more subtle. But fire can be seen. Next is air. Air is even subtler than fire. Fire can at least be seen. Air cannot even be seen. You see? And then is ether. Ether means it is even subtler than air, like the waves, like the Wi-Fi waves, electromagnetic waves. That is ether. Kham. That is even subtler than air. Why? Because air at least has got sparsha. Air at least we can feel. When we are fanning ourselves, we can feel the air hitting our skin. But ether, we cannot even feel. The sound waves, the waves in the ether, we cannot even feel. In the sky, we cannot feel. So ether is even subtler than air. But subtler than ether, ether at least we can tap with our Wi-Fi, with our devices, we can tap into it. So it's there, we know. We are making wireless calls, that means there is ether. So ether, at least we can tap with some devices. We can hear sound vibrations. So ether can be tapped by subtle senses, by sensitive senses. But subtler than ether is mind. Why? Because mind we cannot even hear. Ether we can hear sound waves, but mind we cannot even hear. We cannot see mind, we cannot touch mind. It is very subtle. Mind cannot be seen on MRI scan, but it is very real. It is mind that is controlling the gross body. The mind tells us, pick up the mouse, and we pick up the mouse. You know, so mind is very real, but it is very subtle. And subtler than the mind is the intelligence, because intelligence tells us discrimination, what to do. For example, I may feel like blowing my nose, but I will not do it on camera. I will take a tissue. I will say, Shohil, can you chant Hare Krishna 1 minute? I'll be right back. And then I'll close my video and then blow my nose. Why? Because intelligence is telling the mind. So intelligence is more powerful, but it is subtler than the mind also. And subtler than the intelligence is the false ego. It is the subtlest. Why? Because, see, all these anarthas, think about this very carefully. Please pay attention. All the anarthas like lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, false ego, they, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, what are the resting places for the anarthas? What is the resting place for lust? It is the senses and the mind. Correct? You remember that verse from Bhagavad Gita? Krishna says the resting place of lust is the senses, the indriya, and the mind, which is the sixth sense. Manah shashthani indriyani prakritisthani karshati. Mind is the sixth sense. So mind is also the resting place of the anarthas like lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, false ego. So all these anarthas, which are very subtle, are at the level of the mind. Correct? But just look, my dear friends, false ego is even subtler than mind and intelligence. What is false ego? False ego means I am this body. Now, if I don't have false ego, I am not identifying with this body, is there any possibility of having lust? Lust comes because of deha, atma, buddhi, because we think I am this body. I am a male body, therefore I need a female body. That is lust. But if we don't have false ego, we are not identifying with this body itself. Where is the question of lust? Where is the question of being greedy? We are greedy for the maintenance of this body. So when we overcome false ego, the anarthas are gone. There is no question of lust. There is no question of greed. There is no question of pride. So therefore, my dear friends, false ego is the most subtle anartha. It is the root of all other anarthas. And this snake represents the false ego. The false conception that I am this body. We may say theoretically, oh, I am not this body, I am a soul. But do we actually behave in that consciousness? No, everything we do is based on identification with this body. Every thought of lust, anger, greed is because of identification with this body. I am this body. So that Shukadev Goswami did not have this false ego. That's why when he was going and those young girls were bathing in the lake, he was not agitated. He was not disturbed. This is going beyond Dehatma Buddhi. This is going beyond the false ego, being completely liberated. Because he was not identifying that I am a male and they are female. That distinction was not there because there was no false ego. There is a story in Prabhupada Lilamrit, which is very, very powerful. Srila Prabhupada came to America and somebody was, taxi driver was taking Prabhupada somewhere. And he asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, you are a Swami, what miracle can you do? Because he had heard that all these Swamis come from India and they do different miracles. They produce ash, they produce this, they tell the future. What miracle can you do? Now Prabhupada, being an Acharya, being a completely self-realized Mahabhagavat from Vrindavan, he knew exactly what was the consciousness of this fellow, of this taxi driver. So Prabhupada gave an answer befitting his level of consciousness. So this is very important to understand. So Prabhupada told that taxi driver, if you put me in a room filled with the most beautiful women, I will not be agitated. Because Prabhupada could understand, looking at this man, that he is very lusty. He is a victim of lust. So something that he will be able to relate to, Prabhupada said. This story is there in Lilamrit. Prabhupada said, if you put me in a room with the most beautiful women, I will not be agitated. That is the miracle I can show you. Oh, he was very impressed. Once Prabhupada was asked by a hippie, how would you describe the taste of Hare Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Prabhupada told him, it's like being in an ocean of LSD. Prabhupada said like that because that is what this hippie could relate to. For him, the highest sense gratification was somehow pay money and acquire LSD and go high on LSD. So for him to be able to understand something that he could relate to, Prabhupada gave an analogy. He said, chanting Hare Krishna is like being in an ocean of LSD. Ocean of LSD. Wow. He was so impressed. I will chant Hare Krishna. So as an Acharya, Prabhupada is speaking different things at different times, depending on the audience, time, place, and circumstances. So therefore, my dear friends, we have to be very, very careful of false ego. And from this pastime, we can understand we cannot fight false ego with our own strength. What do we have to do? To get rid of false ego, Nanda Maharaj is teaching us. What do we have to do? We have to loudly call out Krishna's holy names. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You have to call out Krishna, Krishna. When we call out Krishna, Krishna 2 times, Krishna, Krishna, it is a call to Krishna. And therefore, our Acharya, Veer Raghav Acharya, one of the Acharyas in our Gaudiya Sampradaya, he explains the meaning of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is very sweet, so please hear attentively. The meaning of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Different Acharyas have given meaning. Gopal Guru Goswami has given, Jiva Goswami has given meaning of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given meaning, Srila Prabhupada has given very sweet meaning that Hare is Radharani and Krishna is Krishna, the reservoir of all attractive, and Ram is the name of Krishna, which means the reservoir of all pleasure, Radharaman, one who gives pleasure to Radharani. So Hare Krishna is Radha Krishna, Hare Ram is Radharaman. Hare is Radha. This is Prabhupada's meaning. Please engage me in your service. That is a prayer. Veer Raghav Acharya says, Hare Krishna means Radha and Krishna are together. Hare Ram means Radha Raman are together. They are in their Nikunja together, enjoying their Nitya Madhurya Leela. Okay? That is Hare Krishna or Hare Ram. And what is Krishna Krishna? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. What is Krishna Krishna? He says Krishna Krishna means Vipralamba, separation. Radha and Krishna are separated from each other. And Radharani is calling out, Krishna, Krishna. So Nanda Maharaj, in this verse, Nanda Maharaj is calling out, Krishna, Krishna. So in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna means Radharani is calling out to Krishna in separation. Krishna, where are you? Kaha mora prananatha murali vadan, kaha jao, kaha pao, Shri Nanda Nandan. Where is my Nandanandan Krishna? Krishna, 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 Krishna. Radharani is calling out in separation. That is the Krishna, Krishna in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, they are together. Krishna, Krishna. Radharani is calling out in separation. And Hare, Hare is Krishna calling out to Radharani. Because one of the names of Radharani is Hara, Hara Devi. So when you, in the vocative, when you call Hara, Radharani, it becomes Hare. So Hare, Hare means Radhe, Radhe. Krishna is calling. So then you say Hare Ram, means Radharaman, Radharaman, they are together. And Ram, Ram means Radharani is calling her Raman, her Krishna, where are you? Ram, Ram. And then Hare, Hare again is Krishna calling out in search of Radharani. So there is Vipralambha. So there is Sambhog, Vipralambha, alternating in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Now here is a very sweet reflection. So if Hare Krishna Mahamantra has got both the spiritual truths, Sambhog means union and Vipralambha, separation. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram is Sambhog, union. And Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Hare is Vipralambha, separation. If Sambhog and Vipralambha are both there in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, what does the Hare Krishna Mahamantra end with? It ends with Hare Hare, which means separation. So how can you leave Radha and Krishna in separation? That means you cannot stop chanting Hare Krishna. After Hare Hare, again you have to go to Hare Krishna. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Don't stop. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Oh, separation. No, Hare Krishna, bring them together again. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. So therefore, Hare Krishna Mahamantra is by default design, it is meant to be chanted continuously. This is the meaning of Kirtaniya Sada Hari. We should never say my chanting is completed. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra is Akhanda Kirtan. It should go on continuously. Otherwise, you are leaving Radha Krishna in separation with Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. You have to continue chanting. So that is the meaning. In false ego is the most subtle, most difficult anartha, more difficult than lust, more difficult than anger, more difficult than envy to conquer, and we cannot do anything to it. It is too subtle. We cannot even deal with our mind. How we will deal with false ego, which is even subtler? So therefore, we have to simply try our best and call out to Krishna in the mood of Draupadi, in the mood of Nanda Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In the morning, before we start japa, we should tell Krishna, my dear Guru, Gauranga, Gopinath, I will chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra throughout this day. Continuously, I'll be chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. As I chant this beautiful Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which you have so kindly given to us in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please know that my humble prayer at your lotus feet, my dear Guru Gauranga Gopinath, is, as I chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, please purify me. Please purify me. And please engage me in your service. I always want to serve and please you. I want to see a beautiful smile on your face. That's all I want. So then, even after our japa is completed and we keep our beads and we are chanting throughout the day while we are at the computer, while we are showering, while we are doing our duties, we are driving, the Mahamantra is going on, vibrate. Our tongue should keep moving. Even if somebody is talking and externally we cannot chant, internally we should keep chanting. If the Mahamantra is going on like that in our heart, then Krishna knows what our prayer is. Our prayer is that we want to get free from our anarthas. We want to get purified. So Krishna will come and he will kick the false ego away, just like he did for Nanda Maharaj. And he will come and he will wrap us in the embrace of his mercy, like he wrapped Draupadi Devi in the form of her sari. But we have to call out constantly. So now we can understand that the snake was